All right, what is good, everybody? Welcome to today's video. I'm going to be going over how to calculate your contract size and calculate how much you want to be risking per trade. Um, I'm just really tired of you know, having to kind of call out how much I'm risking or just trying to tell y'all how much to be risking while I'm trying to risk my own stuff. So this video is mainly for that because I just can't do that. It's a lot easier if you guys just kind of just understand what's going on and then just take it yourself, and do it with your own risk that you want to risk. Um, so let me just get into this. So basically, how do you how does all this work, right? So what are contracts? I'm gonna explain ticks, points, all that. So if I go, I'm just gonna clear my drawings really quickly. So how does this work? Is if I say I want to take this long here, right? Or actually, before I get into that, I need to explain to you what this means, right? So there's all these prices on the right. So if I zoom in, right, zoom in, it's like the most I can zoom in, right? Where it's like 0.25 cents up every time, right? Every time you go up 0.25, I'm gonna get my measuring tool. This from here to here is one tick. If you look at the number in the top right, that is one tick. And the top left is points, which is 0.25. So one tick is basically every 25 cents, and 1 point is every dollar, right? So if I go to this number, this is a whole dollar up, right? So the top left is points, and the top right is ticks, right? So since I went up 4 ticks, this number is 4 ticks. Since I went up a whole dollar, that is 1 point. Now, what is the calculation? So, how do I explain this? So, if I do this again, from here to here, this is 1 point. Now, if I say I enter a trade at this point in price, and it moves up to here, and I take this trade with one contract, and say I enter here and I might take profit here, it goes up 1 point. How much money do I make? So 1 point with one contract is worth $20. So if we go back to this, 1 point, $20. So I would make $20 if this hit my take profit, right? Now what if I do two contracts instead of one? Well, if I take this trade here and it goes up to here, I make 20, or sorry, no, 40. Wait, right? Yeah. I'd make double, so 40. I make 40. If it's 3 contracts, I make 60. If I take 10 contracts, that's 200 just for 1 point. Now, it's the same thing. So if this is what I make in profit, it's the same thing reversed. Say I take a long, right? Say it's like this. Oh my gosh. So this right here, so see where it says right here, it says 1, and here it says 1. So this is because this whole profit area, like say I take a trade at this point in price, at this 0.5, and I go up 1 point, this is 1. If I go up more, it'll say 1.25. So this is the points, right? And this is the ticks. Let's just worry about points. So just like how I said that if you hit this, you make $20. What does that mean for the stop loss? You also lose $20. So understanding this, Now let's look into an example of where I want to take a trade. Let's say I want to take a trade right now, right? Or let's say I wanted to take this inversion here. So here's a fair value gap, we inverse it, right? This is like technically an entry for a long, whatever. Say I want my stop loss right here. Just an example. And let's say I want my take profit here, right? I'll put it like here, just for simplicity's sake. Just at flat 20. Say I just want it here, and I have my stop loss here, right? Wait, was this low-key a valid setup? Okay, never mind. Getting off topic, but basically, fuck, I would have probably taken this on my eval. Fuck. Damn. Okay. Anyways, fuck. Okay, I missed that trade. Anyways, fuck, what is it called? Okay, my bad. I'm sorry, guys. So we inverse this. My stop loss, right? It's 14 points. Right here it says 14 points. So what does that mean? If I have one contract, I'm going to do 14 times 20. 14 times 20, I'm going to pull out the calculator on my phone. 14 times 20 is 280. So with one contract on NQ, I'd be risking $280 on this trade. And my take profit, well, how much would I be making? Usually I won't care about this. I'll just look at the ratio. If I have a 1-to-1, then okay, that's valid. But in this case, just to find out, it would be 20 times 20. So that's 400 you would make. Now let's say I want to be risking $1,000 per trade, right? $1,000 per trade. All right, let me continue. So, so that's basically, if I want to risk 1K, so 14 points, right? 14 times 20, this is with one contract, that's 280. So if I want to risk 1,000, how many contracts do you think I need? Probably like around 4. If I do 280 times 4, that's 1,120. So obviously I'm a bit above. So if I technically want to follow my risk management, I'm going to do 3. 280 times 3, you'll be risking 840. So 3 contracts is what you'd want to risk on this trade. Okay, sorry. So just shit is going on. So that's basically it, really. It's as simple as that. So if I basically pull this out, right? See if I'm correct. Yeah, so with one contract, this would be 280. You'd be risking 560, 840, 1,120. So that's how this works. If you're on TradingView, right, something you can do to make things simple. Say I want to take a long here, stop loss here, and I want something like this. Something you can do before the trade even happens and just already see how much you're risking is like this. Like you can have this set already, and then whenever you're about to place a trade, you can just be doing this and like just keep on adjusting. So 5 seconds left. Okay, 1,120. That's too much. I'm gonna do 3, and then you have to put this above, and then you enter. If you put this below, what's gonna happen is that this is gonna retrace. It's gonna have to retrace to get you into the trade. But if you have it above, it'll already fill you in. But yeah, that's how that works. So in this trade, I wanted to risk around 2,000. So what did I do? Is I entered here. There's like a 30-second long here. Had my stop loss at this low, had this here. Now, how much did I risk? I had 4 contracts, right? So if I have a stop loss of 22 points, what am I going to do? 22 times 20, that's 440 with 1 contract. If I want to risk 2K, how many contracts do you think I should do? I should do 4 contracts, which is what I did. It would keep me right below the 2,000. So enter with 4 contracts, because that would be risking 1,760, which is good. If I were to do 5, it's not so good, because I'm over and I'm over risking. So that's the best way to have your risk management, and hopefully that explains a lot. If you don't want to use a calculator, what you can do is go to ChatGPT. So I actually have this set already here. So if I'll set this up for you guys. So what you want to say is, I am risking, or I want to risk 1K every time I take a trade on NQ or MNQ. Like, say you have to use micros for some reason, just keep that there. I want to risk 1K every time I take a trade on NQ or MNQ if, how do I phrase this? Every time I tell you my stop loss in points, I want you to please tell me how many contracts I have to use. Starting now. Okay. By the way, if y'all didn't notice, MNQ is the exact same thing as NQ, just that whenever you take one contract on NQ, it is 1/10 of the actual NQ. So, all right. So let's say I have a 20-point stop loss, right? So I'm just gonna type in 20. Literally just gonna type in 20. 20. So I can either do. So obviously you can't do 2.5 contracts on NQ. You can either do 2 or 3. So if you want to be over risked, you can do 3. If you want to be under risked, you can do 2. And the best way though would probably be with MNQ. You can do 25 MNQ contracts to be able to do the 2.5. So in this case, I would do MNQ, do 25, and you're risking perfectly 1,000. So this is the best way to get it done. And if you ever want to change the risk, like be like, I want to risk 1,500. Just say this exact prompt and then put in 1.5K. So yeah, this is the best way to do it. Just like right before you're about to take a trade, what you can do. So I know on Top Step it's a little bit, you don't have that access to like that, to doing this thing. So on Top Step, or like say you're on Project X, or you can do this on, it's just the method you prefer really. But say I want to take a trade, and obviously I need to wait for this candle to close. But say I want to stop loss like here, take profit up here. I'm gonna have to wait for this candle to close, right? But like, I should already have an idea of around where I want this to close for me to enter. So like, say I want this to close here, or honestly, just keep it around it and just like see about how much you're risking. So right now, I'm risking about like 30. Obviously, it can go down to 29. It can go up to 30. It can go up to 31, maybe 32, 33. But, you know, we're just getting the rough estimate, right? So, and I'll just wait 20 seconds to, like, give y'all an example. So, 15. So, obviously, here I'm just going to base it off of this. 28.75. 28.75. 17. All right, boom, enter. Obviously, with like an inverse for value gap, it's a lot easier because, I mean, what you would do is just take this, right? And then, like, you already have like a rough estimate of where you think it's probably going to close. So, like, I'd have it like here, maybe. And I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to like have it a minute before 12, right? 12 was the stop loss. Yeah, 12. So I'm going to put in 12. So I can use 4 NQ for this long here to risk 1,000. So let's go put 4, and that's to risk 1,000 there, or sorry, on here. So I mean, yeah, and obviously it'll maybe close a bit higher, but like the difference is gonna be like literally nothing. So you're just getting an estimate every time. You can never do exactly 1,000 every time. You're obviously that's not gonna happen. You're always gonna get like an estimate, especially with like inversions. But also with like limit orders, say you want to do like a limit order, like there you can already like. No, I don't even trade it limit orders, so I'm not even gonna talk about it. But hopefully this video explains a lot, and y'all can do this shit on your own because I do not want to be giving every single person the number of how much they're supposed to be risking when it's supposed to be different for literally everyone, and also just what people prefer to be risking. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.